At the beginning of the story, we see a young boy delivering newspapers in a beautiful town. In the same town, there is also a mortuary. The boy notices that for many days no one has picked up the newspapers he leaves outside the mortuary. Curious about this, he decides to investigate the strange and deserted place. Carrying his camera, he enters the large, eerie mortuary. As soon as he clicks a photo, he suddenly sees a pair of eyes staring at him. Moments later, a strange man appears in front of him from inside the mortuary. The man's name is Dark. Seeing him, the boy becomes terrified and runs away, leaving his camera behind. Dark picks up the camera and places it inside a box that already contains belongings of other people who had come there before. After this, we see Dark performing the funeral of a child. When the funeral ends, a girl named Sam arrives. She has come looking for a job because Dark had posted a job notice outside. Sam starts looking around the creepy mortuary and notices many strange collections. Among those items are several books that immediately catch her attention. She seems impressed by them. Dark explains that these books contain stories of dead people. Hearing this, Sam asks him to tell her one of the stories, and she wants it to be both interesting and scary. Dark then begins telling the first story. This story takes place in the 1950s. We see a girl at a party who goes to the bathroom. When she turns on the lights, a strange liquid suddenly gets on her hand. It is revealed that the girl is actually a thief who came to the party pretending to use the bathroom. She has stolen many wallets from the guests. She removes the cash from them and throws the wallets in the trash. She has also stolen an expensive watch. While she is there, she suddenly hears noises coming from a cupboard. Curious, she tries to open it. After struggling for a while, the door finally opens. But the moment she opens it, she is horrified. Inside the cupboard, a terrifying monster with many legs is trapped. As soon as the door opens, the monster tries to come out. Somehow, the girl manages to shut the cupboard again. Frightened, she slowly tries to leave the place. But suddenly the watch she stole falls from her hand, making a loud noise. Hearing the sound, the multi-legged monster breaks out and grabs her violently. It brutally tears her apart and drags her back into the cupboard. Then the lights go out. This is where the first story ends. Sam says the story was okay but not very impressive. She asks Dark to tell her something much scarier. Before continuing, Dark asks her to sign a job agreement paper and then shows her around the mortuary. After that, Dark begins the second story. This story takes place in the 1960s, 10 years after the first one. We see a young man who meets a girl. They start talking and soon become close friends. Eventually, they begin spending a lot of time together. One morning, the boy wakes up and notices strange rashes on his body. Worried, he goes to a doctor for treatment. The doctor hears strange sounds coming from inside his stomach. After examining him, the shocking report reveals that the boy is pregnant. When the boy returns home, his stomach suddenly starts growing rapidly. He calls his friend and tells her everything. Soon after, he goes to the girl's house and angrily blames her for what has happened to him. It has only been one day, yet he is already in extreme pain. His skin also begins to look very strange. Suddenly, his stomach bursts open, and he dies instantly. But immediately after his death, a monster baby is born from his body. The girl then takes the monster baby and places it in a room already filled with many other monster babies. Sam finds this story much more interesting and scary because it is full of suspense. After that, Dark takes Sam to the basement. There he shows her the dead body of a woman and begins telling the third story. This story takes place in the 1970s, again 10 years after the previous one. We see a married couple who seem very happy together. The husband loves his wife deeply. However, shortly after their marriage, the wife becomes mentally disabled. The husband tries everything to cure her. He takes great care of her, but nothing improves her condition. This makes him extremely stressed and depressed. One night, he arranges a candlelight dinner in an attempt to help her feel better. But the woman neither speaks nor eats. She barely moves. Seeing her condition, the husband gives her a strange statue as a gift. At the same time, He secretly mixes an overdose of medicine into her food because the doctor had advised him to do so. The reason behind this was that he wanted to free his wife from her painful and miserable life. He didn't want to do this, but he felt he had no other choice. However, suddenly the woman's hand moves, and she grabs her husband's hand. Seeing this, he quickly tries to make her vomit because the overdose could kill her. But accidentally, her head hits the table, and the statue pierces into her head, killing her instantly. Terrified, the husband calls the doctor and tells him everything. The doctor tells him to quickly get rid of the body. Following the advice, the husband puts his wife's body into a box. But the box is too small, and her legs do not fit inside. Desperate, the man cuts off both her legs and places them inside the box. He then takes the box into the elevator to dispose of it. Suddenly, the elevator stops working. What happens next is beyond imagination. Blood begins pouring out of the box, filling the elevator completely. The man becomes extremely frightened and desperately tries to open the elevator door. At that moment, a neighbor arrives and calls the police to help him. Suddenly, the elevator starts moving downward. While standing there, the man remembers all the moments he spent with his wife. Then the box suddenly opens, and the ghost of his wife comes out. However, it is revealed that this is only his imagination. Because of severe depression, he has lost his mental balance. When the elevator finally opens, the police find the body and arrest him. He is later sent to a mental asylum. Sam says she really liked this story. She tells Dark that all his stories are interesting and that each one has a moral. Anyone who does evil will eventually face a terrible fate. After this, Dark takes Sam into the basement again. There, Sam finally reveals the truth. She tells him that she did not come for a job. She came for the child who died a few days earlier and whose body is kept there. She admits that she is responsible for the child's death. Sam then tells her own story. She was the babysitter of that child. One day the parents were not home and had left a voice message saying she could cook anything if she felt hungry. Sam happily started cooking meat. But then the TV showed news that some patients had escaped from a mental asylum. At that moment, Sam noticed an injured man inside the house. She helped him at first, but after hearing the news, she suspected he might be one of the escaped patients. Suddenly, she shoved his hand into a meat grinder and crushed it badly. A violent fight began between them, and Sam eventually lost consciousness. When she fainted, the man tried to go into the baby's room. But Sam woke up and attacked him again. During the fight, the man fell down the stairs. Sam came down and angrily told him that he ruined her dinner. Then she smashed his head with a television, killing him. Later, the child's parents arrived and were shocked to see the dead body. But the truth was even more horrifying. The dead man was actually their real babysitter. Sam was not the babysitter at all. She was one of the escaped mental patients. Soon the parents realized their baby was missing. They searched everywhere. Finally, when they opened the oven, they were horrified to discover that the meat Sam had been cooking was actually their baby. It is revealed that Sam is a serial killer and a cannibal who eats children. After killing them, she keeps one of their teeth as a souvenir. She came to the mortuary to take the tooth of this child because she hadn't taken it earlier. After revealing this, Sam suddenly stabs Dark with a knife. But instead of bleeding, a strange sticky liquid comes out of his body. Terrified, Sam tries to escape, but she finds herself trapped inside the mortuary like a maze controlled by Dark. She runs into the library where Dark tells her that this is only the beginning. Then many books fall from the shelves. Each book contains the story of a child Sam had brutally murdered. Suddenly, the souls of those children emerge from the books. The souls attack Sam and begin tearing her apart. Dark pours the same sticky liquid into her body and seals it. After that, Dark walks out of the mortuary and turns into dust, revealing that he was never human but only a wandering soul. Inside the mortuary, Sam suddenly opens her eyes, suggesting that she will now take Dark's place. The scene then shifts to the present time. We realize that Sam has been telling this entire story to the same newspaper boy from the beginning. The boy becomes frightened and says he needs to go home. But Sam calmly tells him there's no hurry because she still has to prepare dinner, and they will eat together. And the story ends there.